Hello, and welcome to another exciting edition of Appendix N Cinema. I'm Thorin, SonOvThrain Thompson.
I'm Clay Liford, and we are bringing you some Mutant Crawl Classics action tonight.
That's right. Tonight's viewing is going to be Hell Comes to Frogtown, starring Roddy Piper as Sam
And
Hell.
yeah,
And Valeria.
Sandra Sandal Bergman.
Yes.
Yeah, this was a staple of my childhood, this movie, because they used to play it on USA Up All Night all the time. It was like an all-time classic of that channel. I think that's for probably a lot of, if anybody's seen this movie already, I would venture to guess they probably saw it under those circumstances. So we this is a great one, and it's definitely indicative of the mutants and their crawling. But we were going over like how much we're gonna actually convert. So if you in the chat, if while we're doing this and we start talking about statting things up, and you see something we missed as far as an opportunity to give something some cool stats, be it a creature or an item or a vehicle or a special power, go for it.
That's right. And
yeah, you are required to say up in that high-pitched voice. I did a movie with Rhonda Shear actually, called Prison to Go-Go that I was the director of photography on years ago. Good old Rhonda Shear.
Nice. I'm also giving away some themed zines, some Crawling Under the Broken Moon issues 1 through 5. And you can get these by going to our our Twitter page, Appendix N Cinema. I'll be throwing that up on the screen here in just a second. Oh, whoops. I meant to show the big screen here. So here we go. These guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all you got to do is come like us. If you've already liked us on our Twitch page, then you will automatically be put into the raffle, whatever you want to call it. Yeah. Here we are right here, Appendix N Cinema. And yeah, I'll be announcing it on the Twitch a week from today, so next Friday. And you're probably also wondering, hey, why didn't those guys write up anything for the last movie they did? And well, I guess we're slacking a little bit. But
no, we're just perfectionists. Remember, we went the extra mile with Phantasm. We have random tables. We have all sorts of things that going a lot. We have a lot of extras. We got vehicles. We got monsters. We got random tables. We've got new spells. Even that's how cray we are.
Yep, it's gonna be a good one. So when it finally pops on there, it will be super exciting.
We commit to finishing it this weekend. Is that what we said?
Yes. So hopefully it'll be up Saturday or Sunday on the Goodman Games website. And now, without further ado,
get my thing ready.
I think it's almost time to start the show. So let me know when you're ready there.
Are you starting on the New World logo?
I don't know where I'm starting. I'm starting wherever it begins. So 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Oh, you tricked me.
I guess so.
Lakeshore. Lakeshore did not make this movie. Oh, maybe that's who bought the rights afterwards.
Here's the proper logo here.
Yeah, I'm gonna slow mine down until it catches up. Oh, I miss New World Pictures. It always makes me reminiscent for the original Hellraiser movies. And Heathers and a bunch of other great movies that start with H. So yeah, this is sort of the perfect world for either Crawling on the Broken Moon or now Unmerica.
or MCC. Either one of those. Probably a little more America than MCC, just because.
Because it is, we know it's defined as our world.
Yeah, and it's not thousands of years later where artifacts are.
There's still like recognizable like military vehicles and guns and funds, and people have not devolved into tribes or like total tribalism.
Yep. I have to admit, I'm not as privy to MCC as I am DCC. I did read through the most of the manual here once, but I haven't played a game yet, sadly.
Could this mini Statue of Liberty be a relic of some sort?
It could be.
He said, "Hey, squid lips. Let's see if this guy actually does have squid lips."
I don't think you see this guy in the beginning.
This is good for nothing.
Might want to turn yours down just a little bit, Clay. I can hear an echo.
You can hear mine?
I think so.
Can't have God.
It's pretty low. I can barely hear it.
Maybe, actually, I think I'm hearing it on this. Hell comes to Frogtown.
So, like, I gotta check, like, as far as, like, wasteland armor and stuff, like, I can't remember how well MCC handles that. Like, what we might need to do, since in honor of Rowdy Roddy Piper, is to have some more pre-made mighty deeds that involve some strong arming in the wrestling ring. Wrestling.
Yep. Get a bonus if you wear a kilt.
Always. Kind of looking to see equipment-wise, like how. Like honestly, I mean, I feel like I know Mutant Crawl Classics pretty dang well, but I don't really remember anything about equipment.
I had the privilege of meeting Roddy Piper at a horror convention here in Atlanta. That was he's a cool dude. Said hi, shook his hand, that sort of thing. Didn't party with him or nothing. That would have been more fun.
That I'm sure. He unfortunately lost him just very recently, within like the last 2 or 3 years, right?
Yep.
I was always a big fan. I love They Live.
Oh yeah.
And what was I gonna say? So I'm curious for anybody out there. I have a big tendency to mix all my different DCC related products, from the Dark Trails to the Black Powder, Black Magic to MCC to all of it. And the only one I have a little difficulty with is America, because of the way it handles armor. Like, I wouldn't say, maybe not radically isn't too hard of a word, but it's significantly different than any of those other ones do, where they have like the armor, points or whatever it is. I've never, like, for whatever reason, I can't make it like stick in my brain. But I'm wondering if anybody out there in internet land has any experience, if they have preference, if you've mixed Mutant Crawl and America, and if you lean towards one or the other, just the standard armor class style, or the like you've got points and all this stuff. And I'd actually pull out my book to remember how it actually works.
Yeah, I feel like their armor is all point based, because you can like put different pieces together, fabricate it sort of.
Yeah, I mean, but you can like literally mix anything else without any problem in DCC, and pretty much I'm sure you can probably even mix in an armor type too, and just run it as is, and just have like some people use one armor points and some don't. I don't know. I'm just curious if anybody had any experience on that, just because for whatever reason, every time I crack one of those books, I love their adventures. The America Adventures is a bit like their Burger Time, whatever the thing was.
Yeah.
PD McBurger Smith or whatever that thing is called. Yeah, those are so fun. But then I start like, I'm like, oh, I'll just use them with Mutant Crawl. Then I forget about the armor. And
you're still here?
Now there's a wrestling move for you right there.
Right, they opened it up with one.
Wrestling nurses, wrestling army nurses. Wait, is that supposed to be like a cross between a nurse's outfit and like a General Patton kind of thing? What's going on here?
It's the future, man. Don't question it.
To the med techs.
You know, I miss the days in movies where everybody wasn't so super pretty. Like everybody's gonna be so pretty in movies.
Are you throwing shade at Sandhal Bergman?
No.
Or more Roddy Piper?
Roddy Piper. I'm just saying in general, like, you know, not everybody's like pretty. You know.
Now, why was he not considered for the Masters of the Universe movie? Because he looks like what I thought He-Man would look like. And he, I don't
wasn't
know. Not no shade at Dolph Lundgren.
You've left a string of pregnancies everywhere you've been.
So we should definitely set up the explosive
chastity belt.
Chastity belt / whatever, you know.
I'm authorized
Sports jockey.
There's an adventure right there. All your players wake up and they all have one on their waist, and you know
all the male all the fertile male characters.
And they have to. That's the entire adventure, is trying to get it off.
Do you feel up to it?
This is kind of, if you think about it, this movie is kind of a gender flipped version of Children of Men, almost as if Children of Men was like influenced by it. I love that movie, by the way. And I know it's based on a book, but maybe P.D. James, maybe she was influenced by Hell Comes to Frogtown.
You know, that's the way it's going to be in my mind.
Well, that's the thing that's all the rage right now. Is like, you know, didn't E.L. James just release a gender-flipped version of Twilight for the anniversary of Twilight? That's what Twitter.
Well, I don't know. You're the Twilight fan, not me.
No, I'm definitely
sparkly vampires.
But maybe we should use Twilight on this show. Just kidding.
Yeah. Maybe we could lose all 6 viewers we have. At the moment.
I think we gain just a different type of viewer. And then we'd indoctrinate him into the fine world of DCC, MCC, whatever. You know, the Goodman Games-averse.
Yes.
It's an electronic lock.
That was hilarious in the news. Since we have a moment of this exposition here, I don't feel bad talking about this, but like, there's like that rumor going around that like Hasbro's gonna sell Wizards of the Coast, and you might have seen it online. But what's really funny about it is they're like the prospective buyers. It was Goodman Games. People say maybe Goodman Games is gonna buy it. And I was like, what I like about
doesn't need it.
Well, yeah, no, absolutely. The other funny thing is, like, what I love about Goodman Games, they're not a multi-million-dollar conglomerate.
Yeah.
But they probably can't afford to buy a multi-million-dollar conglomerate.
Yeah, I don't think Hasbro's not going to sell D&D. It's such a dumb rumor.
I know. So far, yeah, you are right about this intro being a little lackluster on the things to convert. But okay, so
I mean, we can always fast
forward. Would you know what would be good? No, fast forwarding. Maybe we use if we use the Mutant Crawl Classic rules, we have to give a tech level to the explosive codpiece. So that way, and a failure on a tech roll might lead to a little manhandling explosion, possibly.
That's right. So where are those tech handles? Artifact checks. That's what you mean, right?
That is what I mean.
Page 167, if you're following along online.
Oh, and by the way, okay, so I'm not nuts, right? It looks like there really isn't a good section in this book on different types of like wasteland armor. So that's something we could do. That's fun.
For MCC, you mean?
Yeah, well, because there was that dude at the because the guy at the beginning had that cool wasteland outfit, and I think we might want to do up our version of like, you know, and maybe that's just because they assume that you will use it from DCC, or maybe I just can't read, but I'm not finding much in the way except for like, you know, specialized like not like your generic, like under the there's like power armor and stuff, but I'm talking about like cool, just like wasteland outfits.
Yeah. So we could stat up
like that
some
one
wasteland
dude
outfits.
Oh, just make an armor class chart or something with those things on it, and maybe they have this slight variations. Maybe it's something the equivalent of leather armor, but maybe it has a different encumbrance, or maybe it has some it comes along with those fancy schmancy goggles, or maybe there's radiation and it protects you from radiation. Maybe you don't have to make a rad roll or whatever the hell you making.
Right.
Rad burn thing. Yes. No, they live tonight. But this is they live's an easy child to love. This one takes a little. You got to show you're a true Roddy Piper fan. So we get cars, but that's pretty much covered already by like Vehicular Mayhem and other such great add-ons for the old DCC, including ones in America, which I guess is really just almost a reprint of that. But yeah, this cod piece. We got off topic there.
Yeah, what page? 167 for artifact checks.
I want a toad stamper patch.
That'd be pretty cool, honestly. So yeah, artifact check. So it's the artifact check bonus. Let's see.
But every item has it's like a tech level, right? I mean, I might be using the terms wrong, but like I feel like it's like a tech level, and we have to basically figure out how technical we want our explosive cod pieces to be. So.
Okay, yeah. So 176 is that artifacts by type. Wait, that doesn't give you the level, the tech level, though.
Oh, yeah, but okay, I was using the terms right because I'm seeing it. This called each one does have a tech level. If you look at like the pistols, for example, in 172, it says tech level. The first part of the entry.
Mm-hmm.
I think it should be a hardcore gamble if you are messing with the cod piece. So I don't know if that's represented by.
Well, you've got a force field belt here, and that's a tech level 4. So maybe that's sort of the same tech level 4 or 5.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm wondering if it needs to be a technical issue that could make it go off. Like maybe there's several different ways you can make it explode. Maybe you have to get past the tech levels, the check or the artifact check, and then beyond that you have to make some sort of like this would be a good job for the rovers, right? Yeah, the rovers are they're the equivalent of thieves. Right? Maybe not. Why can't I remember as much as I thought I could remember? So rovers are kind of in here, but they don't actually have traditional like thief skills, but they do have natural affinity for understanding artifacts. They also have a knack for circumventing technology of the ancients, especially when it comes to computer locked doors, secured containers, and explosive cod pieces. So that would be like maybe your mission would be like you were saying, like you get stuck. You wake up and you got this exploding thing on your thing, and you got to go find this a rover to get it off of you.
And that rover just happens to be in Frogtown.
Yes. So.
No armed escort?
You're not going far.
So Thorin, if you were doing an MCC or just a post-apocalyptic game, this movie was made in the fine year of 1988. Yeah. And it was that would have made it one of the later films of New World Pictures, kind of towards the end. Hopefully, no connection to their demise. I have nothing. I love New World Pictures, man. They had some good taste. Critters, Heathers, Hellraiser.
Now, who's got the
original Warlock? I believe.
Who's got the control to the military chastity belt here? like in MCC
Bergman, right?
terms.
Oh, it would be whoever has the the transmitter or the receiver. Sorry.
So
No, I guess it would be a
transmitter. Your characters wake up. All the male characters have the chastity belt.
Okay.
Like
you could do a thing where it's like it turns out you don't know who put it on you, but you find out when you get to the rover that actually this guy's been going around himself putting it on people, knowing they have to come to him to get it off. So it's like a money making scheme.
Some men just want to watch the world burn.
That could be a fun. The person who you have to go to for help turns out to be the person that put you in this.
And then you have to go on an adventure. Yes,
that actress is Sandhel Bergman, who is awesome in both movies. And we're 100% going to do Conan the Barbarian. We've just been pacing it to when. Actually, we had considered it for our debut episode, but we thought it was a little on the nose to do it for the debut. What was the reason? Is that the reason we decided not to do it for the debut? I think so, yeah. A little too expected.
So maybe our season finale will be, I'm thinking 10 episodes is a season. So maybe
I want to release my secret weapon, but I'm not sure when. You know which one I'm desperate. Well, there's two I'm desperate to do, but maybe I should keep those private. Should I announce my two favorites I really want to do?
I mean, I think. Well, sure. Let's go for it.
Well, I would love to do the Lucio Fulci film Conquest if we can cover enough of the Hoobies in it, because it's got a lot. It's got a character who basically is topless the entire movie, but it is amazing Italian sword and sorcery. It's so good. It's got so many cool things in it. And that one some people have seen that one, but the other one that almost nobody has seen was one of the very, very first movies in the early 80s that was made as a direct-to-cable movie. It was a direct-to-Showtime movie from Australia, but pretending to be shot in Los Angeles. The reverse of the usual situation is a great movie called Prisoners of the Lost Universe with the great it's got Richard Hatch as a kendo instructor who gets transported in time to this other world. But it's got a really cool DCC premise because there's this scientist who creates this time machine, and he accidentally warps himself to the past. And he has technology like guns and stuff with him. And this evil overlord dude basically makes him his court wizard. He's like, you must be my court wizard. And then, by the way, John Saxon is the evil overlord. So double points there. And he basically makes this guy start making like technology for him to conquer all his enemies. So Richard Hatch and Kay Lenz, TV actress in the 80s, also go back in time to try to stop him. But there's all sorts of like fantasy races in it. There's like dwarves, and there's like weird blue elves, and there's like some giant ogre guy who can explode at will. There are other monsters too. It's really, really cool. It
sounds like a win.
And it's allegedly, though I would actually do my math on this. It is allegedly was meant to be a sequel to Hawk the Slayer.
Oh.
But I've only heard that. I have not verified that. But and also the soundtrack's amazing. It's so good. It does not deserve to have I take that. It fully deserves to have a good soundtrack. Night of the Heart, no. And I feel like I know all the Italian ones. I need to look that one up. That's great. Thank you.
I agree also that a Mad Max-esque RPG would be phenomenal. Now,
yeah, I feel like you can do America pretty well.
Yeah. You could do that. Maybe, obviously it would have to tone down on the fantasy, basically no magic, no magic world.
Well, if they had gotten, maybe when they get to the later sequels in these movies, we'll find out there is some sort of techno magic in the world of Mad Max. Magic Max. Magic Max?
Magic Max. That's a whole different movie. So
that's the Mad Max Magic Mike crossover film.
Yep.
I like that this girl's name is Sentinella. That's what my subtitle told me. Yeah. Or is that Centronella that's the candle?
Centronella is the candle, yes.
Close enough. You're out of uniform, Corporal.
So, I apologize for having to censor it, but you know how it goes.
I'm watching the Blu-ray on my end, the very fancy.
Yeah, you know, can't all be as lucky as you.
So guns are pretty well covered, at least in America. Most they don't get too in depth into non-ray gun type weapons in the MCC core book.
Yeah, I don't really feel like we need to cover guns so much. I mean, they're also covered in Crawl. Crawl's got an excellent gun issue. Number 9.
They said Crawl.
Crawl. Yeah.
What movie? This is Hell Comes to Frogtown.
With a plan.
I'll type it up.
Or are you asking about the? Oh no, sorry. This I just saw that in the chat. I thought somebody was asking what this movie is.
They might be. I don't know.
No. I think. Oh, maybe so. I don't know. So Frogtown itself could be a.
I think you could write a whole adventure around Frogtown.
That's true.
It's stat up the entire complex.
I guess DCC and the whole Goodman verse doesn't really like have a system or a template for writing up, world building like, civilizations the way you see in a lot of other games. But it could be a cool location to write up.
I mean, they skim over it. It's up to the judge to make up their rules.
So he's got his kilt and his jeans, which I like. Good look. Good look. Yeah, I like literally been segregating my pile of which movies I want to have us consider for the show, and there's so many good ones.
So
what
many
are the other good like post-apocalyptic monster movie? Like not monster, but like. We could like another great post-apocalyptic movie is Hardware, but it only has like the one robot in it.
Yeah.
And it has like cool robotic like hands and stuff, but I think that's pretty much already covered, right?
Cyber Tracker 1 and 2, those are not post-apocalyptic, but they're
I thought of a good one.
Cyberpunky.
Circuitry Man.
No, I've never seen that.
Oh, you haven't seen it? It's got the villain from Road Warrior is the lead in it.
Toe Cutter?
The one with the mohawk, not the main one.
Not Road Warrior. Not Mad Max, yeah.
But the one who's also plays the same role in Weird Science as a joke.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah. So John Vernon. He's also he's the one in Commando. He's the guy from Commando who's like the main bad guy. He's like Bennett. He's like, let off some steam, Bennett. That guy.
I couldn't tell you what the actor's name is.
It's something Vernon. It's not John Vernon, because John Vernon is a different actor. It's something Vernon. But he was also in the underrated and amazing Inner Space as Mr. Igo. The guy who gets miniaturized and goes after Dennis Quaid inside of Martin Short's body. I think that might actually be my favorite Joe Dante film, Inner Space. It just doesn't get enough love.
According to the tests I just ran on her, she's fertile.
Is it John Vernon? Is that his name? Did you find it?
I'm not.
I thought you were looking it up.
I mean, I can look it up if you don't want to look it up.
I will look it up. You said you were.
I didn't say I was.
I'm going to check the playback on that one.
Vote now if you thought I said, I'm going to look it up.
Because there's another older actor that's also got a very similar name, and I always get them confused. One of them is in Night of the Creeps, and is not the one I'm talking about. I'm gonna look up John.
There you go.
So John Vernon is he's the one. He's not the one I was thinking of. He's the one that's in Dirty Harry and Night of the Creeps.
I do want to say that I already have my assless chaps ready to go. Just in case 2020 gets even worse, and 2021 does, so I can bike around with those, and ready to go. Really.
You don't want our audience to leave, right?
If anything, they should start asking for pictures.
Vernon
Mine. Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Vernon Wells. I like Enemy Mine. Enemy Mine was like such a weirdly maligned movie that it was also the movie I think may have the distinct dubious distinction of being the most director rejected movie in Hollywood. When they tried to they went through so many directors before they got to Wolfgang Peterson to direct that movie. Like, and everyone and their dog was offered that movie, and no one would take it. But he did a good job. I like that movie, and it's got that Maurice Jarre soundtrack. It has a very memorable. It's a memorable movie. It's in really good work from Lou Gossett Jr.
Now, is that the movie where does somebody get
a
pregnant
remake
in
of
that
Hell
movie?
Over the Pacific? It's basically a remake of Hell Over the Pacific in space, and it's like there's a war between these alien race called like the Drax, and they're like lizard people, and then there's humans and they're fighting, and then like the bad guy Drax, who's Lou Gossett, already they think he's a bad guy. You know, the enemy, both Dennis Quaid and Lou Gossett Jr., who plays a Drac, crash on the planet.
They have to work together to survive.
And they're a species that either are not asexual, but are like hermaphroditic to begin with, or they do the thing where they change sexes at a certain time. But then basically Lou Gossett Jr. has a baby.
That's right. Yeah, that's what I remember. And as like a kid, I was like, this is weird. This is crazy. Like
Brian James is in that movie, who's also the first replicant in Blade Runner, and who I worked with once, and was crazy. He is no longer with us.
He's in a movie I just watched on Amazon. It's when I was going through my 90s cyberpunk marathon of movies, and I can't remember the name, but it was basically the exact same plot as Die Hard, except it was set in the future, science fiction, and that actor plays the main villain. He looks like he's just like this crazy, like he looks like a rat.
He's
almost.
Always nice. But I worked on a movie called The Operator with him, and it was his last movie, and he was basically playing a cattle baron who had to ride around on a horse, and it took so many people to get him on the horse. And he hated the movie so much. The director of that movie, anytime they wait till the expensive camera was rolling, he'd look right into the camera and he goes, "John, you get 2 takes, you take what you get." And that's what he would do every single time. And I was in the editing room. I would get those rushes in the editing room, and it was just funny because we knew it was gonna be a good day when we had Brian James stuff on there.
Man, I wish you could have made copies of that to have a blooper reel or something.
Yeah, he apparently I was reading in I think it was Bruce Campbell's first book, and he didn't want to mention an actor by name, but he was talking about a crazed actor that destroyed his hotel room trying to exorcise the ghost of his dead wife because he was high on cocaine, and it was on the movie Crime Wave, and I'm like, no, it was 100% he was talking about. no ifs, ands, or buts on that.
Wow. I'm learning so much. This is why we keep you around on this show.
Right on. What do we got going on here? We just got more like.
I mean, really, like you don't get to Frogtown till like 3/4 of the movie.
But when we get there, it's worth the wait.
It is worth the wait, very much so. But there's a lot of this, traveling and this sort of these scenes happening in this movie.
I feel like we mentioned this for one of the other movies, and I think it definitely applies here. I can't remember what we were talking about when we mentioned it before in a previous episode, but hair has come up. Amazing hair has come up several times. And maybe it was Dar's hair from Beastmaster, but we were talking about doing, we talked about doing, basically instead of mustache duel like they have in the annual, doing some sort of hair related special rules.
Yeah, we could have how they have the Appendix M mustaches in
right.
We could have Roddy's hair, because we want to do a Roddy Piper, a Sam Hell NPC stat that you can throw into your your adventure. So maybe his hair comes up as something special in that.
You clean her up? Not me.
Yeah, but we definitely need to do some nice wasteland apparel. With maybe going so far as to, instead of having just, most armor, you have basically a encumbrance class to it and then a damage adjustment. It'd be fun to have things to select from that have their pluses and their minuses, but maybe even expand beyond just those two distinctions.
Maybe it's does like Umerica have damage reduction in their armor? Maybe that's how we distinguish it.
But that's the one that always throws me for a loop.
Is damage reduction?
Yeah, it's not damage reduction, or it's just, I mean, it's not like a threshold or anything like that. It's just like points, I think, that you deduct and once they're gone, kind of thing, I think. Now, is she putting is that the explosive controller on there? And she put it on her wrist?
Yeah, maybe. I guess. I don't know.
Maybe not. No, it's not. Because why would they give it to that random person? No, it's not.
Well, she's got the controller in her earring. She can make it, blow that way.
I just reread Name of the Rose. I love that book. And the movie is pretty good, too. I want to know what the game mod is.
Yeah, what you talking about? Where they're referencing what we were talking about.
Whoa, that's true? St. Paul, Minnesota? That's amazing. Yeah, I need to wrap my head better around the America rules when it comes to the armor stuff. It always just flummoxes me. So they're using a little disguise action.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Oh, we've got a link here for Frogtown. Let's check that out.
Whoa, that's cool.
Now I'm your prisoner.
Oh, I think I wouldn't like that.
So why was it named Frogtown? Let's see here.
Oh, what's wrong, baby? Don't like being treated like a puppet on a string? Now you know how I feel.
I think his American armor dye would have to be reflected about whether or not he's wearing his kilt.
Yeah. Doesn't tell me why. Oh, well, German word of Frushberg, I guess, is what then turned into Frogtown, or it's just a nickname.
1d3 plus, or is like maybe it was defamatory because it had a lot of like French settlers there. That's why they called it Frogtown. They're just being defamatory.
Yeah, 1d3.
In addition to the rest, which would be
now, is it 1d3 if it's just a cloth kilt? Like, what if he has a leather kilt? Is that up it to 1d4? Chainmail kilt. Have a whole kilt line.
I think the idea of possibly even finding a way to like combine some of the stuff that exists for like they have that Benison and Lankmar that if you have minimal armor you can you basically can increase your armor class by I think you combine your stamina and your agility. Maybe it's something you do that it's like basically it's to kind of like simulate the ability for these scantily clad men to not die instantly in battle.
Right, yeah. Again, those Benisons, they're great.
That's my favorite thing.
So finally, we're finally at Frogtown. How many minutes into this movie? We are 35 minutes into the movie.
Oh, this is the end of Act 1 going into Act 2.
That's fine.
That's about right.
It's not bad. Not as late as I thought. It's just slow going.
If you lived here, you'd be home already.
I mean, Frogtown doesn't look like a bad place to stay. I've seen worse.
Looks like St. Paul. They get to, and of course, because this is a not too far away from Star Wars, like 10 years or so, it's got to have the cantina scene, basically.
I mean, any good adventure's got to have your cantina scene. With entertainment like this, who could say no?
I can't remember if it's her, but one of the lady frogs falls in love with Rowdy Piper.
I think that's the one. Spoilers.
Oh, there you go. That's a type of energy source. Instead of energy cells, they have those energy cells in MCC. Maybe you have an elliptical machine that generates energy.
Hearts and Armor is a movie we should check out. Not the other one. Although I want to check out the other one too.
No, I think you're saying that's the actual name of that movie,
right? Oh well, I don't know. Knights of the Heart might be a movie too.
Come on.
Hearts and Armor. I'm looking at the page. 83.
Are there monsters in it, or is it just a good old-fashioned?
No, it looks like it's real worldy, but I ain't never heard of that movie. Man, I'm behind.
I think it's okay if you haven't heard of one movie in all your stack of movies back there.
Yeah.
Industrial Waste. Bruce.
Oh, we could do how Linkmar dipped into the drinks. We could have
we can make up some Frogtown drinks.
Frogtown alcoholic beverages with deleterious and positive effects, maybe.
I like that.
Looney's alive. They told me that you were pancaked in a mine shaft in Town after the war. Oh, you know I got 9 lives.
Apparently, Looney survived his roll-the-body check.
Obviously, he is not a pancake in the bottom of that mine.
Because I'm so crazy, I'm sicker than anybody you know.
I thought there were a lot more extras in this scene. Maybe I thought, I just remembered it being fuller in past viewings. Maybe it's just my overactive imagination.
We're just combining all the bar scenes together.
If we ever went to if we ever took a dip into space and embraced the star crawl aesthetic, a very good film to do would be Ice Pirates. It's got all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Guys want to stat up there. There's a monster in it called the Space Herpy. I thought that would just be a fun one to stat up.
I'm down for Ice Pirates.
He runs the joint. Tell you what I'll do. I'll fix it up for you. Be right back.
So would this guy be a rover? I feel like he's like a rover class, maybe.
Yeah, or if you're mixing and matching from different systems, he could be a rover. He could be a or maybe we just, maybe this is our crossover where we don't realize because we don't know enough about him that he's a shaman. And that's his secret. That's how we stealth in some of the wetware.
Is he Leroy? Is he Looney Tunes? Is that guy's name?
Yeah, he's Looney Tunes, yes.
Rory Calhoun.
Yeah, it's Rory Calhoun, the star of, also the star of, from Motel Hell. One of the greatest.
You don't keep a man like Leroy waiting. Come on.
Big Motel Hell fan, and I believe is also in Night of the Lepus, the giant rabbit movie.
So yeah, we could stat up this delicious looking gruel. Honestly, it looks pretty. It kind of looks like my yogurt that I mix up in the morning.
This looks like mashed peas.
Boiled baby tortoise.
So maybe they were like just like low on rubber masks, and so they're like they're just like recycling the same 5 masks in the background from shot to shot. I just really remember this being much more lively. But
I think maybe you're thinking of a scene later on. Here's Leroy.
A noble gesture, Mr. Hell.
May I suggest a chaser?
Oh, so here's another drink. And then look, there's a good Coors Light plug in there. Or just Coors, not even the silver bullet, the actual, this ancient, the regular Coors.
Beer. Real beer.
Basically, you would set up Coors so it has no effect until you drink like 35 of them.
It's only slightly.
Oh, the guy in the Fez is Jar Jar. So he is so according to the notes, sounds like I'm thinking that the actual frog people are called green gargantuans, but I can't remember if that's referring to a specific one or just all of them. He is very wet.
So impressed, he promoted Bull to his first lieutenant.
Yeah, that's Commander Toady.
So, perhaps we'll get to the bottom of what their names are, but I think it may be green gargantuans as a species.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't bad enough that
but they should kind of be their own thing, right? Since they're so kind of like, they shouldn't just be like, if you wanted to be a green gargantuan, maybe it's not just a random roll on the mutant table or the manimal table or whatever. I guess it wouldn't be a manimal. It would be a no, I guess manimal. But I think it should be like almost like a hard and fast, its own thing, Maybe they became so prolific that maybe they started off just being generically mutants, but then they became so prolific that they kind of became locked in as their own species.
Sure. So do you want to should we write up where you could be a class of green gargantuan, but we also have monster stats for them too, so a little bit of
I know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I like that. Jabba the Hutt.
You could make one of the. You could actually make an actual class for Rowdy Roddy Piper called the Breeder. You don't want to know what the breed die does, though.
Oh boy.
Sagging attendance. Something with real showmanship. Can she dance?
Dance. Of course she can dance.
I think the guy who did the effects for this movie. See if it's the guy I think it is. Steve Wang he did like some of the Evil Dead movies. Mm-hmm. He's done a ton of stuff, but he also directed this really cool movie that was made on Super 8 called Kung Fu Rascals.
I've not seen
it's so good. It's like all these monsters, and it has like Argonauts fighting in it, like these giant like statue dudes. Anyway,
nice.
And he just did everything like on the super cheap himself. And it looks amazing. Like they use like forced perspective the way they used it. I mean, even there's even forced perspective gags in like Lord of the Rings. But because it looks more realistic, because it's like if you do it right, it really there's no like matte lines. There's nothing to give away the illusion if you do it right. But he does this. There's this great sequence in Kung Fu Rascals where they're all the Kung Fu Rascals are basically trying not to get stomped on while these two giant rock monsters, like from Jason and the Argonaut style, are just like battling it out.
How about it, boys? Auction?
It sounds pretty cool.
I'm trying to think of, are there any movies that really combine sword and sorcery and post-apocalypse apocalypsalism? Is there a movie that kind of like leans into that?
Besides like Wizards?
Yeah, I don't like Wizards though. I know it's sacrilege.
What?
I'm not a big Ralph Bakshi fan.
Tisk.
But neither is Robert Crumb, so. I mean, Wizards is interesting as an artifact, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not watching Wizards every single day, but you know, every
it's
couple
okay.
of years, I like to plug it in and watch it. I mean,
like, what is like in a live action? Yeah, this is a good scene. What is a live action movie that really has that's post-apocalyptic but says significant sword and sorcery in it? I feel like this exists because I can like almost picture something in my mind, but I'm having a hard time figuring out what it is.
Please help us out here if anything pops up in your head. I don't feel like Googling things right now.
Yeah, no, that's cheating. Googling's cheating. I'm trying to see. I can picture. It's weird. Like I can picture something, but not even a complete scene. I just have this. Like I just have the thing. Oh, speaking of Appendix N, I just recently discovered this. For anybody who might find this interesting, did you know that there was a movie based on some of the Eternal Champion stuff? The Michael Moorcock. You would never know probably unless you knew, but it's called The Final Program. It's
this way. There we go.
Yeah, it's called The Final Program. I think it was also released in America as The Last Days of Man on Earth. But I haven't watched the full thing yet. But it is crazy that it's like this kind of unknown Jerry Cornelius Michael Moorcock story. And we love Beastmaster here. Well, oh, you know what? I'm not sure if you knew this, but you know if you look at Conan the Barbarian, and the original Oliver Stone draft of that movie, and yes, Oliver Stone was one of the writers on Conan the Barbarian. His first draft was post-apocalyptic. He had all the enemies as mutants, which would have been in an alternate universe would have been so cool to see. I want that version to also exist. I love the Conan that we were given, but at the same time, I would love to see a freaking, you know, that I just want to see that movie.
Yeah,
that would be wicked. But like,
I wouldn't call Beastmaster post-apocalyptic though. I mean, you don't see any relics of a bygone era,
right?
You know.
But that Oliver Stone version of Conan would have been the perfect one had it actually. I want to live in the timeline where that's the version that got made.
It'd be pretty cool.
Maybe also there wouldn't be COVID in that timeline.
Do me a favor.
This is making me uncomfortable. I'm just kidding.
It's turning me on. So here we got some frog guards.
Froggards.
Froggards, I like that.
We love the Barbarian Brothers, and I really want to do a Barbarian Brothers movie on this show, really badly.
When we do that, we have to like make sure that our shirts are off and we're well oiled for the show, though, in solidarity with the Barbarian Brothers.
I will say, unfortunately, my favorite Barbarian Brothers movie is not actually a genre one. I think it's called Twin Sitters. It's the one where they have to take care of the kids of these some sort of politician dude who is like a target of like I don't know, terrorists or something, and he has to protect them. They have to protect them, but that's a really good Barbarian Brothers movie. I think it's called Twin Sitters, maybe I'm getting the name wrong. But I love the Barbarian Brothers. They're amazing. We talked about doing Deathstalker, but Deathstalker obviously has a significant amount of nudity.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we can get around that. I still want to do it.
And of course, just because I want to stat up the sword in it, a Sword and the Sorcerer is a good one. Just so you have that sword launching, that blade launching.
Yeah, that's the one that's got the 3 and right.
3, the tri-sword and of course Krull, because Krull is awesome, and I will hear no other about that. Because I mean we got, but wait, wasn't there just like the glaive? Nothing. We could stat. There's a lot of cool stuff you could stat up in that. Did he just say Count Sodom?
Maybe.
That's what the subtitle just said.
Count Sodom. Well, we're gonna have to stat him up.
Oh, just someone we're having for dinner.
So You know,
They
again,
wanna
we were
eat her.
lamenting this. We were just lamenting this the other night a little bit when we were talking about the idea that one of the really cool things I love about DCC monsters is you also a lot of times have the prime option, like the exemplar of the species, where it's like written up with additional stuff. I feel like I haven't taken advantage of that too much. Maybe there's a prime. We could do a prime. Who's it? Whatever these things
Green
are called.
Gargantuan.
Green Gargantuan. Thank you.
Yes.
That would be fun. Maybe it turns out to be, Lord Sodom.
I don't know if we can have that word on the. We'll have to spell it differently. Sudam. No, that's not right either.
Hey, I mean, Sodom is just like Sodom and Gomorrah, man.
That's true.
So what is the economy of this world based on? Is it just like barter?
Yeah, it seems that way. Yeah, doesn't seem like they're trading bottle caps or well, you know, in the first half of the movie, he has a contract, and he's gonna get something out of the contract. Obviously, I don't know if that's his freedom or money or whatever.
Sweet car.
A sweet car. Let's see if IMDb tells me anything.
Here's a ritual right here. This could be considered almost a spell.
Yeah, for what?
I
don't. What are they doing? I
don't remember.
I forget the plot. This is the problem with talking over the movies the whole time.
I'm Spangle of MedTech, she says.
I've come to rescue you.
Oh, she's here to rescue all of the
Is that
other
like a
fertile
ritual
women from.
Is that a ritual that makes her tell the truth?
What are you doing?
I think she's just telling them secretly.
She just seems so tranced out. What was the remember we had a really cool idea a while back about having, like, if Goodman could get the rights to it, DCC, it was like, was it DCC Phantasm? Was that the one we were thinking?
Yeah, the whole Phantasm universe.
Yeah, I think that was one, right? Or was there something else we were also saying would be like a really awesome, like, DCC, like, you know, branded, you know, tie-in or whatever. Now I have to imagine also that America already has a chainsaw in it.
Probably.
They don't.
My book's too far away.
Yeah. Like totally wouldn't isn't that genius though? Like DCC Phantasm, like that would be a new frontier, like for Goodman. It's like you cross the world into.
I feel like that's if they're gonna do movie crossovers.
That's almost perfect though, because think about it. Like all the cool things it has: interdimensional travel. It has.
That's true.
Chainsaw. Oh, okay. It's a fact. 2d7 damage. Chainsaw's expanded fumble range. What does that mean? Expanded fumble range. Does that mean?
Are you looking in the Umerica?
No. I'm just looking at the chat.
Oh.
You know, Julian's talking about.
Yeah, Julian. What does that mean? Tell us.
What does expanded fumble range mean?
Okay.
Copy
Gotcha.
that. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Duh. I don't know. For some reason, I was thinking something much different. Like
but it makes sense
like
too.
a wild range when you on the chart. You know, even more zonky.
Right. But it makes sense that it would because they're not balanced very well. Like they don't have like a natural like good balance to them, and you easily screw up with a chainsaw.
It's wired to blow! MedTech wouldn't be stupid enough to wire a potent mail.
So what would be the damage when we eventually have our if you get lit on fire while wielding gas power weapon, bad stuff can. Oh, nice.
It's true.
I need to delve a little deeper on that book.
Welcome, Manjo Ban, to Health Comes to Frogtown.
You say health comes to Frogtown?
Hell.
Like they get universal single payer insurance.
Frogtown is the only place in the future that has universal health care.
what was that meme that was going on where it's like, this is the future Democrats want, or like that was like,
it's just Frogtown.
Just Frogtown. No, what? Okay, so we would have to figure out what the damage is for the exploding cod piece. I have to assume that on a failed, probably a fortitude save, I suppose, maybe reflex. I don't know. The wearer is insta killed, right?
Oh, yeah.
I don't see anybody surviving that. But then what if you're within like a 5 or a 10-foot radius then? Or even bigger. How big should this explosion be? I don't think we ever see one, so I think we have carte blanche to make it up the way we want. I do like that idea of like the descending thing. You know, we were talking the other day about that idea of like if you're within 5 feet, you know, you roll the damage dice. If you're in 5 feet, if you make your, you know, if you make your save, then you take half damage. Next layer out, you default to half damage, and you make your save. You only take 0 damage.
I mean, if it explodes on you, I don't think you get a chance to save. Yeah, maybe there's a percentage chance that there's actually a phlogiston disturbance, and you just get transported to another world. Or
maybe it's a luck roll that it's a kind of maybe on a luck roll either does not fully explode, like it's partially defective, or I don't know. It seems like a last ditch kind of thing, right?
Sure.
Like it would either be because it doesn't make sense. Like a fortitude save wouldn't make sense anyway, because it's like, what are you like puffing up to stop, you know? And you can't, agility wouldn't work because it's on you, so it's not like you can run away from it. But I think maybe a last ditch luck check, maybe, to see if it's just a faulty. Not to say that it would 100% just not work, but maybe it
an instant roll over the body check.
Okay, so you can get it off without blowing it up.
Yeah, it's fake apparently.
Well, I think that was
well, there we go. Oh.
That was a defective. That should have been a defective explosion right there, because that was lame. It can't be just enough to blow up your junk. It needs to be more than that. Or maybe they come in different versions. Maybe there's the Codpiece Mark 1 and the Codpiece Mark 2. Codpiece Mark 5, which actually like.
I don't want to spend our entire time writing all the different marks of exploding codpiece.
Why not? What else are we gonna talk about? What, the harem?
Talk about Rodney's hair.
Then again.
So if you wanted to make the hair thing distinct from the mustache fighting, just to give the hair some sort of quality. Oh, his hair is all messed up now.
He's a sweaty mess. That's what happens when you get chainsawed.
Maybe, to make it really 80s and to pull it all around, instead of directly addressing the hair, what if we have either as a weapon or a technological item that has different set of its effects, hairspray, different volumetrics of hairspray, different strengths. You know, you've got your Aquanet.
Well, I mean, you know, I don't think that falls in line with the movie so much as just the
Well, clearly the hair doesn't do that naturally.
But it does. That's what you're not understanding. In the future, they don't have hairspray, so it's obviously got to be natural.
I do feel like, seeing as the best post-apocalyptic movies come from the 80s, and most of them have 80s hair, that we could do something fun with hairspray. And that would be a new frontier.
How about we just watch Hairspray, the movie, and we'll stat that up.
Just stat the hairspray in it. No, think about it, like, because there's so many, like, there's some really great Italian post-apocalyptic movies from, like, you know, the Bronx Warriors and what's the other one? New Barbarians is a great one. And there's also one that I love, because I love this guy named Bruno Mattei, who's like he's considered one of the worst Italian directors. But he made the best giant, or not even giant, regular-sized, massive evil rat movie called Rat's Night of Terror. Or I think it was called Blood Kill when it came out in Italy. But anyway, that movie is fantastic. Is actually has mutants, but you don't realize it has mutants in it, and has one of the most amazing twist endings up on par with that of Planet of the Apes, and also has characters who are like, he was so up with the times when it came out in the early 80s. He was like, he was going to show how relevant he was. He named one of his characters Video. Because as you do, and amongst other things, but it's amazing. It's such a great movie.
It reminds me of something I just watched recently. I think they actually like titled it like Terminator 2 or something, but
that's a Bruno Mattei movie.
Yeah, but it's like an Alien knockoff.
Right. It's literally, yes. So that's Bruno Mattei. That's my guy. He made that movie before the real Terminator 2 came out.
Yeah.
And it was also it had a different name in certain territories, but he made that. He made God, so many. He kept ripping off James Cameron, because he also made one called like Robot USA or something like that, which was, that one was like the Terminator ripoff. Which a Terminator 2 is an Aliens ripoff, but then like Robot USA, or I can't remember what its exact title is. That one was the weirdly enough, that one was the
I'm gonna throw the Terminator Shocking Dark is the other title to it.
Shocking Dark.
I'm gonna throw that in the chat here, because if you guys haven't seen that movie, it's on Amazon, and whoo boy, is it! It's a good
great,
one.
But it does not top. It has a lot of the same cast from Rat's Not a Terror, but Rat's Not a Terror is the best. Vincent Dawn, his American name. Vincent Dawn is actually Bruno Mattei.
Okay. Had to change his name to get away from the Italian film mafia.
Also, most of his movies were written by Claudio Fragazzi, who is best known here as the person who wrote Troll 2.
Ooh.
Wrote and directed, I believe.
Troll 2 is a treasure.
And a shout out to my homies. My home campaign stars the directors of the movie Best Worst Movie. Which was which you can still get, I think, on Amazon and other things, and that is the making of Troll 2. And those same directors also directed a movie called Zero Charisma, which is about D&D players, and it's really good. And that one is also on Amazon. But yes,
this guy just flashed her. His frog junk.
Threads. This looks really cool. How am I learning about so many things tonight that I never... Wait, this one sounds kind of familiar.
Threads. Nice.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
I like it.
Yeah, man. All right, so we got some
that guy was able to leap at least like 30, 40 feet into the air, so we got to make sure we put that on.
Wait. So Threads is post-apocalyptic and magic. It looked like Nazi exploitation from when I looked at it. But oh, cool, that's neat. I'll have to check that one out.
Yeah, we'll watch the trailer after this. You and I shall, not live.
Yeah. I will say completely off topic with this because we're talking about movies. I'm very excited because in early January, something I never thought would ever come to Blu-ray or any other media is coming. There is a legendary movie called Grizzly 2, which has Laura Dern and George Clooney in it. Back when I don't even know if they knew they were in the movie. It was when they're very young. But it's actually an unfinished movie that somehow got a release. Like, it just doesn't have an ending. But it is about a grizzly. It's an outdoor rock concert with lots of like this random outdoor rock concert stuff, and occasionally it cuts to a random grizzly bear attack sequence. But I am so excited because like it's getting like the filmmakers are just like, screw it, we're putting it out, and I guess they finally cleared up the rights issues. And it's literally got like a website just for selling that one movie.
That's great.
I think it might be grizzly2.com or something like that. But I used to show it at like parties. I have a crappy VHS of it, and it's just amazing. And then I just found that there's a book about the making of it on Amazon called Swimming with Sharks, which I understand the metaphor, but you think they would at least come up with a bear-related metaphor.
Running with grizzlies.
Hardly bear it. But like, yeah, don't use your shark metaphor for a movie about a bear and not a shark. But whatever.
I mean, I get it too, but
it's a miracle.
that Santa? Is that Mrs. Claus? Like she totally like she was dressed for Christmas. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have to check out that Threads because it's like, what else too? I know there's more stuff. Like there's things that are like, I mean, the weird thing about like Crawl is it's kind of science fiction and fantasy a little bit, but
there's like a Hawk Lady or something like not Hawk Lady.
Not Hawk. You're not talking about Hawk. Hawk.
No. It's a post-apocalyptic movie that I watched, and it's got this chick who can communicate with a bird, and it's post-apocalyptic. It's on Amazon, and I don't know the name of it.
Hawk Lady. What happens if you type in Hawk and Lady on Amazon Prime? So like, do they have this? I feel like they just had like this one shotgun in this movie because everyone has the same shotgun.
They can only afford 2 shotguns.
Somebody said, yeah, no, it's definitely not Lady Hawk, right?
No, it's not Lady Hawk. No.
That is definitely not post-apocalyptic.
But it's definitely post-apocalyptic.
I do like Lady Hawk.
Can I see what movies I've watched already?
Probably.
On here? I don't know. We're going off topic. We're supposed to be.
No, it's all good. I mean, we're only old Looney here is about to roll his body again. So it sounds like America's got us covered on the basic weaponry and vehicles.
Yeah, I don't think we really need to focus on that.
We've got 2 versions of the Green Gargantuans or whatever they're called. I keep forgetting.
It might be a movie called The Sisterhood. The year is 2021 AD. Women have been enslaved by a brutal army of men who survived the nuclear holocaust. And their only hope is... what?
A sword-wielding magician.
Is in the hands of a nomadic band of fierce she-warriors, the Sisterhood. Yeah, this is the one.
And it has it's like straight up like swords and like possibly even like.
Well, it's got I mean, it does have swords, but it still have guns. But there's a lady here who can communicate with her hawk friend.
Okay.
So that's close.
I feel like it's getting closer. We're getting close. We're getting warmer.
That's close. There's a lot of good.
Technically, if you want to get real technical, except the series was canceled. Rightfully so, before it could ever reveal this. If you know anything about the Terry Brooks Shannara books, besides the fact that they are not very good books, and basically are massive Lord of the Rings ripoffs, the one cool idea that series had, and this is, I guess, am I allowed to make a spoiler about a book series that's that old? That's okay, right?
Yeah, sure, go for it.
Like it's post-apocalyptic. Like that's not an insta reveal. I can't remember when you get that in the series, but it's definitely something that's not like they don't lead with that. But it's got, it's very kind of like dying. So it's also ripping off, Dying Earth as well. So,
I would say Reign of Fire has your sword and sorcery aspect because it at least has dragons.
That's true.
Oh no.
Not Looney. Looney, you gotta roll under your luck. You gotta roll under your luck, Looney.
Take it so hard, son. I've lived my...
It's almost...
He's rolled his body a lot.
Yeah, his luck's probably pretty low. Kind of like my character.
Do you enforce the permanent loss of stamina every time you survive or roll the body? Because I keep forgetting to do that.
I think I forget that rule from time to time. So yes,
it's a good rule.
I don't hardcore enforce it, I guess, because
there's got to be consequences. There's got to be some consequences when you drop like a rock.
Oh yeah. I mean, I like to also give people nasty wounds and scars and some cosmetic things that might.
But maybe like they have a limp and it lowers their movement from 30 to like 25 or something. All right, we got all our frogs. See, I feel like what if that is that not the one bigger frog? That's your prime frog.
He'll have a special abilities of some sort. Although, other than being frogs and hopping really high, they haven't shown us much. Maybe like tongue action, obviously.
Maybe they're hard to grapple because they got that sweatiness all over them. They're all so
They're always slick, yeah.
So you to grapple them, you would have to, it just makes it harder somehow.
Sure, maybe you got to roll a d16 instead of d20 to grapple those boys.
Yeah, something like that. I'm okay. I literally just got some ketchup on my arm. They also probably. What are the things can amphibians do?
Breathe underwater.
What are the things can amphibians do that's actually interesting? It's got to be. They gotta maybe. Are they? Well, no.
These guys probably they would have some. If we're going MCC, they would have maybe reduced rad effects on them because they're mutants, Who's this guy? Oh, this is that was what's his name?
That was Lord Sodom.
Lord Sodom, yeah. If ZZ Top showed up, that'd be great.
I like his little. Is that a Mercedes logo symbol around his chest?
Yep. It's very valuable.
Maybe it's a
ranking.
Maybe there's a whole subtext here we just don't know, and the frogs know that there are some old magical artifacts.
I told you it was not finished, Sam Hellman.
So Sam Hell's real name is Sam Hellman, like Hellman's mayonnaise.
Oh, it's that guy. It's that guy from the beginning of the movie.
You see, this used to be a man's world, Sam.
It almost looks like Bryan Cranston.
But now there are too many women.
This guy's been in a lot of things, but I can't tell you what he's been in. He's one of those actors,
Oh, this is about to get a little swordy, right? He's got his samurai sword. He's got his
For processing. Get away. Get away from here.
border guard, dude. This is going to make me nuts. I cannot think of. Krull is actually kind of close, though it's not post-apocalyptic. It is sci-fi-ish because technically there's laser weapons, and also that the enemies come from our space.
It's like Planet and Sword and Planet.
Yeah, it's Sword and Planet almost. Yeah, and I swear to God, that the beast in that movie still scares me. That design, it's like a real scary looking monster. And also those the Slayers, those things are really cool looking.
Mm-hmm.
Then I get scary chills that time that sequence they come up out of them.
Whoa!
Mode.
Now that was a mighty deed right there.
Definitely was.
Long-winded son of a bitch.
I feel like we definitely need to write some specific mighty deeds that are wrestling related.
Yep.
In honor of the great.
Well, we got throw samurai sword. That's throw sword into chest.
I'm trying to figure, do they shoot this at? I'm trying to see if this is the Great Vasquez Rock
Stay with the girls.
or not. If they shot that there, I'm looking for telltale signs. I have joined the posse of people who shot movies at Vasquez Rock. My last feature had a sequence there, so that was every alien planet on Star Trek for a while.
Mm.
It's been in every one. It's where the Batcave. No, Batcave's in Bronson Canyon. You've just seen it in so many movies,
Right?
But it has. I don't think it is actually because it's here. It's got these 3 distinct rocks that are very recognizable.
Maybe they tried to shoot around those rocks.
You would never go to Vasquez Rock and not shoot that. It's the only reason you go there. Yeah, I don't think it's it. But it's crazy how many movies it's in. We were joking that was the most famous actor in our movie was Vasquez Rock. So he's not dead?
He rolled, man, he's got a high luck. Or just a really lucky D20.
Maybe he got stabbed in the artificial heart.
Oh, but not anymore. Right in the...
So getting impaled by the samurai sword run through, that didn't do it, but
a bullet to the head or heart or whatever.
Where did he get shot?
Yes. Where did he get the samurai sword? Anyways, he just
I don't know.
has
I don't
it. Like
remember
I
that
missed that
happening.
part.
Yeah. This is making me think about something I can always go back to. I think anyone that's played D&D or any type of D&D, generated, maybe it is Vasquez Rock. Sorry, maybe that is. I don't know. But the idea of called shots, and I know DCC has a great way to do that with your mighty deeds. But let's say you're not a warrior. Has there ever been an elegant way to like account for?
The way I always did it, or do it, I suppose, is if you're not a warrior, you just had a straight up D6 die, and you have to roll like a 6 or a 5 or 6 on it.
But what are the actual, like, let's say you want to shoot somebody in the head, would you just give them an instant kill if they made that roll, or would you just?
I mean, if they rolled the armor and then rolled a 6, then yeah.
No, you wouldn't just like increase the damage significantly. You would just like say, go ahead and insta kill.
I'm a little more free-formed with that, yeah. So it's like, hey, if they pulled it off, if they were able to roll 2 dice exactly what they need, then sure, why not? Let's move on to the next baddie.
Fair enough. No. Oh, defective. Failed tech check.
Yep. Fumble.
So what other things can frogs do? Or what could we presume? They don't have to be in the movie. Like, what could they fear? Would they have
drive trucks?
Would they have infravision?
Sure. Why not?
I mean, let's not do the 5e bullshit where everything has infravision. Sorry, pardon my French. Everyone has infravision.
French pardoned. Well, if we give it infravision, then they would have worse vision in the daylight, like right now or something. But I maybe
daylight
not.
Sensitivity.
I mean, do frogs actually see
that's
well
what
in the
I'm
dark
wondering.
in real life?
So now I am questioning whether or not I think this actually might be Vasquez Rock after all. I just don't.
Those pointy rocks don't look familiar to you?
Those look just like but it's like I need to see the right angle on it to know for sure. But the fact that you can see the highway from one angle definitely leads me to believe it might be Vasquez Rock, because that's the thing they don't tell you when you go to shoot at that place. There's not very many angles. Yeah, there's not very many angles that do not feature the highway.
Oh,
that's a mighty deed. That is definitely a Three Stooges mighty deed.
Those are the best kind. He's just wailing on this frog.
Hey, speaking of which, I don't know, because I'm not a rules expert when it comes to DCC, but it seems like it's heavily implied in the book that any bare-fisted damage you do is actually subdual. That there actually, it seems to heavily imply, and I think it's just the way it's written. I don't think it actually, I think it's probably not meant to do that, but like, you actually look in the rule book, it really looks as if all like bare-fisted damage is subdual.
I mean, that would make sense, right? I mean, it's
you can totally
hard
kill
to
somebody by punching them.
Oh, I guess if once they hit 0, if you just tell the judge you're just gonna keep wailing on them, then that guy's got to make a fort save or roll over the body.
I just don't think I'm pretty sure I'm just reading it wrong, because like there's got to be a way, like remember that thing like when you're a kid and you have that one friend and he's like, I know how to push your nose up into your brain and kill you with one punch. Yeah. There's always that kid in junior high.
I was not that kid. I was the kid who was like, okay, I'm not gonna talk to you anymore.
The frogs get the leap. We got the can they cling to surfaces? Frogs can't really cling to surfaces, right? They don't have any.
Sure.
I mean, I don't think that's like a frog trait, right?
We also gotta think post-apocalyptic frogs here.
Here come face clean. Yeah, you gotta for your hero moment. You gotta.
If we were to add spells, they could actually maybe, depending on how slimy they are, they could
We thought you were dead.
or their mutated slime could repel a magic missile or something like that.
It could just be one of the, maybe they get additional mutations outside of just being, so you've got the base green gargantuan, which would be a species unto itself, but would also have like, X amount of mutations the way that, the plantient or the mutant, the regular mutant, or any of them get.
Or so maybe just something simple.
Oh, that's like something we can do.
Random mutation every time. You've got the base, and then as a special, you've got like roll 1d6 every. When you meet one of these, and this is their special mutation.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, we could write some new mutations.
Yeah,
like something involving body slime. If there's not such a thing already, there may be something like that already, but.
Well, I bet if you licked some of these toads, you'd definitely get a little high. Yeah, have a nice phlogiston trip through.
Or maybe it's a luck check. You either die or you get a really sweet trip.
Yeah, maybe you. And if there's a percentage chance that you learn a new spell just from licking frogs. Your mind is open so much that a new spell floods in there.
I need to check for sure, but I don't think there is a specific mutation that has to do with like producing enough coating of grody slime. There is the one where you get to fart out of the palms of your hand. I like that one.
That's a good one. That's one everybody needs.
That's just, I think just because it's got a really nice accompanying illustration.
All right, now he gets all the girls.
I mean, he's got to do his civic duty now.
He does. Got to repopulate the world. It's a tough job. Somebody's got to do it.
So let's inventory what we got. Oh, that is Vasquez Rock, 100%. That's the angle. In my movie, the spaceship lands right between those two rocks.
So the other direction's the highway?
Basically, yeah. Literally, if you reverse that shot, if you flip that shot around, you would see the highway.
All right, there we have it.
All right, while these credits are going, the poor Doofus is a character's name. So let's inventory. We got our green gargantuans and possibly the gargantuan prime. Mm-hmm. We've got the exploding codpiece. We've got possibly a new mutation or two. And we have 2 iterations of the green gargantuan, both as a class and as a monster.
Sounds like a nice load there.
What else did we forget? Anything else cool that we were forgetting? Weapons are pretty much handled already.
Roddy Piper, we gotta
stat
him up as an NPC.
You do that and then write some inspirations for new mighty deeds.
Right. So yeah,
related to the larger world of Roddy Piper, including some of his. What is he known for? And does anybody know what his does he have like a signature move when he was a wrestler? Does anybody know if that's like a thing?
I'm being sure it is, but I couldn't tell you off the top of my head.
That's why I'm like wondering if anybody that's like a fan in the chat might know. If he had like a, like Hacksaw Jim Duggan or whatever that guy's name was, he had like a signature move, and like there are a lot of those guys had signature moves. Captain Lou Albano, he had some.
Well, I'd like to remind everybody who's watching now and later that if you go to Appendix N Cinema. Twitter page, which is just Appendix N Cinema. I am giving away some zines for Crawling on the Broken Moon, 1 through 5, and I'll be announcing that on Friday. Everyone who follows us, including those who are already following us, and hopefully we'll find a winner. Apocalyptic dinner. Yes.
So, what's interesting? I don't know what. So your credits are white. Mine are neon green.
Oh, that's interesting. Maybe it has something to do with that international thing at the beginning.
Who knows? Yeah. That's strange. Yeah. So obviously, also on the Twitter or whatnots, always looking for suggestions for movies. We had some great ones tonight. I'm very excited that there's some movies I'd never heard of that made it to there, because I usually know my genre films, but that was awesome. I love when I get introduced to something I had no idea existed. So yes, please, always, anything that you feel has the spirit of DCC or any of its spin-offs in mind. That could be something like, even like the Weird West or something, that would even count, like, or even any of the other, the third-party ones, like something like, we were talking about Ice Pirates, maybe for like a Star Crawl type thing. Anything that you think would just be a rad, that has the spirit, that kind of, you guys all know the spirit. You wouldn't be here if you did. It's
that gonzo spirit.
Yeah, it does something that doesn't care about mixing all its references, something that just goes fast and loose with those things. And I do think, in honor of the great Behind the Silver Screen module, we should do demons, because of the theater in that module, and like the demons coming out of the movie screen and stuff in that movie. By the way, that movie is amazing. I'm assuming most people here have probably seen Demons, the Lucio Fulci film. It's so good.
Yep.
And it's more an action film than a horror film, really.
Yeah. So here it is again, Appendix N Cinema, and you can also find me and Clay at SonOvThrain and D&D Party.
I'm trying to figure out how to change that.
Got to change it, DCC. Got to rep. Yeah. But hey, thanks for joining us. Be sure to check out the Goodman Games website for both the Phantasm write-up and Hell Comes to Frogtown.
And Beastmaster from before.
And Beastmaster from before, which is already on there. So
yeah.
All right. Well, till next time, folks.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us and watching us struggle to come up with things to stat up.
And ramble on about nonsense.
Ramble.
All right. Till next time, folks. We'll see you later.
Bye, you guys. Thanks.